So as we leave Vietnam, the big city differences that I see between Vietnam and the U.S. is the streets. Well, in Vietnam, there's like no directed painted lanes, and in like big cities, there is. And another big difference is that, well, I don't know if it's like more of a difference. Oh, definitely the cars. In big cities in the United States, you'll definitely see more cars versus in Vietnam, it's more motorcycles. And some similarities that I found were that when it's a small city that's large, in population, the buildings tend to be built more vertical versus with like horizontal. And particular here in Vietnam, the buildings that are built vertical are more narrow versus in the US it might be a little bit more wider. And so those are the differences that I found. So once now they're here in Thailand, the first impressions that I see, it's a lot of kind of reminded me of like Mexico. If I'm describing Thailand to my parents, I would say that it's a mixture between Vicam, which is a very small indigenous town, and Magdalena, which is another small Mexican town in Sonora. Just because, there's a lot of fields, a lot of like dirt, and there's more vegetation here. Like it's much more greener, but like it's a house, but it's also a market type of deal. Like you also see that in Mexico, and you can also see it here. And it's like not just a house, but it's also a restaurant. That type of like feeling is very familiar to me, but just in a different language, because the signs here are in a different language versus in Mexico. Like I can read them because they're in Spanish, and here obviously I can't because they're in Thai. And then, what are the most silent identities you notice in Thailand? When we went to the coffee plantations and the strawberry fields, or the indigenous tours, I noticed that when they would sell their products, they sold them for like a very, very low price. Especially if you convert, Thai money into dollars, it's very low. So that's something that I noticed, that they cater towards the Americans, to the tourists, but I wish they would have bumped up their prices a little bit more so they could get a little bit more, revenue.